Yo, what is happening, ladies and gentlemen? We're here, we're back, we're doing this thing, and we're doing an ABX video against my better judgment because I'm going to show you something. Actually. So, this is a screenshot from my YouTube channel here, and it just shows, right? We're looking at the view count here, and the view count is, okay, you see it says views, and the top video there, that's a super giant video I just put out a couple videos ago. And it was an ABX video. And if you look at the view count here, it's kind of tiny. It's actually kind of tiny for me to see, as a matter of fact. Let me try to enlarge it here. So we have 44 on the ABX. And this seems to be typical for pretty much most ABX videos. If not most, then all ABX videos, at least recently. So if you look, 44, 65. Now, none of the other ones are actually ABX videos. We have 71, 51, we'll talk about that in a second, 95, 93, and 11, 8. Now, these, okay, so the Black Order team one, the 51 count, that's like a, me clearing null video, and those used to be like the better videos. As a matter of fact, I think that was like the first video that got over 10,000 views on this channel, and it doesn't seem to be that way the case anymore on those types of videos. And it's not that I'm doing these videos for the most amount of views. I'm doing these videos and I'm trying to gauge what types of videos you guys actually like to see. Like, obviously I want to put videos out there that you guys want to see more, which would translate to more views. Some of it could be due to just the ebb and flow of YouTube and the algorithm. I haven't quite really taken the time to figure it out, but I hear from a lot of people that sometimes there's really no figuring it out. In some cases, not all cases, but you could read it to a certain extent, but there's you can't necessarily figure out the rhyme or reason 100% of the time. But if you see a trend, like when I put out ABX videos, they don't seem to do as well as the others, then I know that a lot of people don't necessarily like to see the ABX video. So we'll see how this one does, and if it tends to do like the other ones have been doing, then I might just do ABX videos less and less frequently moving forward. Oh, and by the way, so you see this black mark here? Somebody made a comment because I showed a picture of my family in the last video, and they're like, what's that black stuff on Miss Zilla's face? And it's from my green screen. I have to adjust it. I don't know. I haven't taken the time to adjust it. Also with my camera as well, it seems like the quality is pretty low. So I don't know. I might have to get new equipment. Although the camera that I have, it's like a really nice, expensive camera that I had just like laying around. It's like a Sony mirrorless camera. So I don't know. Maybe I just need to adjust some of the settings in it. But in any case, let's rock and roll here, guys. Oh, and by the way, shout out to everybody, and thank you very much for all the nice and kind words said about me and my family. It seems like, so I actually wasn't sure how the vlog type stuff would be accepted, but it seems like a lot of you guys like to see that, or even like what's really trending now is people like to see just like kind of behind the scenes type stuff. And I don't know, that might be an indication that this channel needs to should mosey on to other pastures, if you catch my drift. Might I don't know, do different types of content on here. All right, so what we're doing ABX, and today is, no, I don't want to go there. I want to go here. Today is Blast Villain Day. So it seems like there's a few different options you could use. You could do just Mephisto solo, and you Cyclops lead. If you put Emma on the team, you get an all-attack crowd control time team up. But if you put Captain America on the team, where's Captain America? Did I switch his uniform back? I did. I swapped his uniform back. Let me go ahead. Let me swap his uniform back to Hydra Cap, and let's go back here. You get movement speed and crit damage. Now, movement speed is actually very important for today if you have a Forged Judgment that has the type on it. Excuse me. If you have like a lot of movement speed on your cards, you're in really good shape. Like if you have Mephisto's movement speed capped, it's actually very beneficial, and I'll explain why when I play the run. Also, the crit damage, because he doesn't have a uniform, and for me, actually, I think I have this team up right here. Yeah, so if now I'm still under capped, even though I'm getting from the team up, I'm getting was it like 5 and some, you know, I'm getting 4.9 crit damage. And so I mean I'm basically capped. But if I use the Emma team up, I'll get the energy attack but not the crit damage. The crit damage and movement speed seems to work better than the Emma team up with what she's offering. Just the critical damage. It's a team up with her and Cyclops. So I recommend throwing Hydra Cap on the team to get the movement speed, especially if you don't have the movement speed capped. Like, I'm still not even capped. And that additional, would it be 3.3%? I think could actually work wonders. I think I'm still like right on the cuff from not being able to really use the type at its full advantage, because it seems like you could just get more rotations in with the type. It's either that or you're holding off rotations. You're holding off going into the rotation because you're trying to charge up the type, right? Otherwise it's just the proc on the judgment, whether it's a brilliant judgment or a mighty judgment. All right, so now I spoke about that. I'll explain more when I play the run, but let's talk about the builds here. And all right, so what we're actually doing is, so I have a Mephisto solo run and I have a Moonstone Mephisto team up run that I'm going to show you, and they're actually a lot closer than I thought they would be. And you'll see the scores, you know, once we get there. Well, I'll tell you, Mephisto I have 10.27, and then with Mephisto and Moonstone I have 10.16 is what I scored with her, but I have a 10.13 recorded run. That's the run I'm going to show you. I tend to get off on these squirrel chases, so I don't necessarily mention things that probably should be mentioned a little earlier in the video. Now for the Moonstone team up, what you're going to do is it's going to look a little something like this. You're going to do Green Goblin lead with Moonstone and Mephisto, and I'll explain to you what I found works best in terms of when to swap. Like I tried a few different things, and what I'm doing here in this video I think works better than others, because doing it like swapping every 30 seconds, like just swapping in popping Moonstone's awaken rotation as much as possible, seemed to score quite a bit less than what I'm actually doing. But here, before we do that, let me show you the builds here. So Mephisto, he's got a full stack. By the way, this is with team up here. He doesn't have 94% energy attack. What does he actually have? Let's find out. He's got 76. All right, so with team up, we'll rock it out with the team up here. He's got a full stack. He's got a fully awakened isolate set, and he has a brilliant, and it's actually a really nicely rolled brilliant. It's got 60% on the type, and then it's got the max proc, 22.7 chain hit, and 34.9 all attack. He obviously doesn't have a uniform, and then his stats with the team up with cap, he's basically capped on everything there. 0.05% on the crit damage that he's missing. All right, now Moonstone, this is without team up. She has, let's see, 57. She does have a full stack, and she has a fully awakened isolate set, and she does have a brilliant energy, but it only has a 230 proc. It does have 10% beatdown, but you know, unless you're charging up the beatdown, it's not really gonna matter much. The all attack seems to just work out better in most cases on a forged energy for ABX. All right, let me pull up one of these runs here, and let's get rock and rolling. Alrighty, here we go, guys. Oh, and by the way, if you watched my very last video when I took all the characters, well, all the meta characters into Null and did the Battle Dome, you noticed the rotation I was doing with Mephisto, and you know what? I never really bothered to question his rotation. I never really did. I found something that worked, and I just never really tried anything different until today. And what I switched it up. And if you're doing what I was doing, I strongly suggest to switch it up, and I'll explain to you exactly what I'm doing in the video, or else you'll just see it. As a matter of fact, shout out to Benchmaster, because he messaged me. This was after I figured it out, after I started doing something different, and he shot me the rotation that I actually just started doing because I figured it out. But had I not had the time to do it, that would have been very beneficial. So shout out to you, man. I appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and let's rock and roll here. So this is Mephisto solo, is with Cap, giving me the movement speed and the crit damage. And I have to imagine not everybody is in a situation where they're capped on crit damage. Okay, so if you notice right there, I took the long way. I took the long way because even with the additional movement speed from Cap, I still have to take that long way. As a matter of fact, when I was chatting with Benchmaster, he was telling me that he's got 40% movement speed on cards, and he's able to get that type up so often that he can actually just run straight to the beast, and it's charged up. So he's got it up. He's got the type going off every 2 out of 3 rotations. But the rotation that I'm doing is it's two delay cancel 1 5 4. I was doing 1 at the very end of the rotation. So you want to do, it's basically 2 1 5 4. And then when you have the 6 up, you throw the 6 in there. So if you look 2 1 5 4. I think sometimes I might have did 2 5 1 4, just depending on what was going on. But 2 1 5 4 is what you want to do. With delay cancel, and then you try to stretch out. If it seems like you can get the type in there without really delaying the rotation too much, then do that. But if there's any way for you to increase his movement speed, I suggest doing that, because Benchmaster with a lesser build, I guess, I don't know, I haven't checked out his build, but I guess with a much lesser build, he was able to score 10.1. So it's about 200,000 points behind me, which it's not a whole lot. He's got less on cards too. So that I have to imagine that the movement speed is really setting. It's really doing a number. No pun intended. But yeah, if you got the type, the type seems to be the way to go for Mephisto, not the all attack. He's got the way his skills work. You're kiting for a while. It's still a little bit of a stretch. Like I said, if you don't have a whole lot of movement speed on your cards, it could be a little bit of a stretch. But yeah, and during the roar, so you gotta skip using a tier 3 for the first roar and the second roar. And I have SFX on. I had it on because I was playing World Boss, and I played Mephisto today because he was just my World Boss of the day, and I couldn't skip it. I couldn't disregard that. Otherwise, I would have played Null. But I play Sharon Rogers with SFX on because she does quite a bit more damage with SFX on. So there's a little hidden gem in the video. Use SFX when playing Mephisto or just playing Sharon Rogers, basically anywhere. Squad battle, Null, Mephisto, SFX on. She's going to do quite a bit more damage. Also, yeah, you got to save the tier 3 for the third roar as well. On Burn, he's going to score a bit more, and yeah, I don't go into the rotation here because, you have such a long cooldown on 5 rights, 9 seconds. I probably would have missed it. I most definitely would have missed it there. But I'll tell you what, before swapping his rotation, I was scoring under 10 million. So this is giving me like a 270,000 point increase. I was actually right at about 10 million before I started doing this. And if you look, 10.27 guys from switching that out. So if you watched that last video and you were mimicking what I was doing as far as rotation, or if you're just not doing this, switch it up, do this, and you're going to score higher, guys. It's just facts. So it's 3 cancel 3 right away, 2 delay cancel 1 5 4, and then it's 2 1 5 6 4. Simple as that. Mephisto is very easy to play. I love Mephisto. He's my guy. He's got my best rolled brilliant. So that's got to say something. All right, let's rock and roll into this Moonstone Mephisto swap. Alrighty, here we go, guys. This is the we're doing the Mephisto Moonstone swap. Sounds like a dance, doesn't it? We're doing the swap. And I had SFX on here too. I didn't bother to take it off. It seemed, I don't know, maybe that was a secret spice, having SFX on. I was able to score more because before this, so I'm using Moonstone at the very beginning. Using it at the very beginning, and then just for the roars. Just for the roars because she can cancel, right? It's on her passive. She's got the silence on her passive, if you didn't know. But yeah, you just want to use her for the cancel. And if you can, depending on when you cancel the last roar, you can bring her in at the very end, right? If you're canceling, right? If you have the time, depending on when you hit her 6 skill. I don't know. I didn't do that, and I didn't try to do that. I have to imagine that would be really tight, but if you can pull it off, you can do something like that for sure. But yeah, here we go. I mean, 5.32 by the first roar, not too shabby. It seems like I'm on pace to actually score higher, because I was at about 5, I believe, on my high for Mephisto. Yeah, in here, I'd say depending on if you get the next proc on that rotation, swap to Mephisto or don't swap to Mephisto. I think I was just leaning towards swapping to him. I just don't like playing Moonstone, mainly because of that reason. She's not my favorite character to run ABX with. She's a blessing for World Boss, but for ABX, no way. So here, I don't know. You know, maybe you could do something a little bit different. Maybe I had some missed points there because I used his tier 3 like at that point. You know, I don't know. Maybe you could save it. Or there was a run where I had something go wrong at the very end, but I was able to get an additional rotation. So when I popped him back in, I was able to have the tier 3 up on the first rotation here instead of doing it like right now. But one thing I'll mention with Mephisto in playing him with type is that the 2, you can hit the 2. You can hit the 2 before his type is charged, because his 2 pulls him, right? Depending on how far you're away from the beast, he'll like launch himself towards the beast, and he'll charge up the type a little bit more that way. There's a little more nuance with it. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm not even going to try to explain it because it just might confuse people. But yeah, here. So you got all these mobs. Yeah, it activates. So I swap her out because you're going to score more points with Mephisto, anyways. But like I was saying before, if depending on when you actually hit the 6 for the roar cancel on Moonstone, you might actually be able to get her back in. But 10.13, not too shabby. So I'm guessing that this video is going to post probably well after reset. 2 hours, 22 minutes left. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to use all my characters. I still have quite a bit left. Check it out. My goodness, man. The more and more characters we get in the game, the harder it becomes to use them all up in Shadowland. I'll tell you that much. Still got to get on that Shadowland video. It's just so time-consuming, guys. All right, so back on track here. Now, you saw it. Mephisto solo scores quite a bit more, 200,000 points, 200,000 points more than Mephisto Moonstone. I'd say that's the case if you have a brilliant on Mephisto. If you don't have a brilliant on Mephisto, it seems like if you have a brilliant on or you don't have a brilliant on Mephisto and you have a brilliant on Moonstone, it seems like the swap method is going to be the way to go. Excuse me. Now, I'd say probably even if, like, say you had Rage on both of them, the swap method is still probably the way to go. It just seems like unless you have a brilliant on Mephisto, then you're going to be doing the swap method. So I think we're going to end it there, guys. So next up, I did a ton of different testing and runs with a bunch of different teams for dispatch, for auto dispatch, to see who can clear it faster, because we got some new and spicy additions, right? Proxima. I'll tell you what, having Proxima on the team with there's a bunch of different combinations. So I'm going to show. I think I did over 12. I think I did 13 different team ups for dispatch, and I'm going to show, and I did 3 runs for each one. And what we're going to do is, so I recorded them. We're going to fast forward through all the runs and get the clear time for each one of them. We're going to average out the scores, and then we're going to see who comes out on top. And it's going to be like a hero versus villain type thing, because as of right now, well, before the update, in any case, I'm not going to give any spoilers, the top team was White Fox Lead, Rogue, and Ghost Rider. That's for me at least, and I have Forged Judgments on both Rogue and Ghost Rider. I used to have a Brilliant on her until I moved it over to Super Giant. Basically is what I did. And then I also have a Forged Judgment on Ghost Rider. I don't know, I'm thinking one with all attack might work better for Ghost Rider. That would be an interesting test. Also, still have to test out Human Torch and whether or not one with type is going to work better. This one's just rolled so well. It has 16% on the all attack, which isn't bad, but I think he has the opportunity, right? You have the opportunity to kind of, you know, bounce around, right? To kite and charge that up between his rotations there. But in any case, guys, there it is. So I hope this helps you out. I hope this, you know, you learned something. I don't want to give people the wrong impression on the last video using Mephisto with the other rotation. I think I've used that rotation ever since his inception. Now I'm just going to be able to clear World Boss Legend faster, get higher score on ABX. So now, in fact, running Cable versus Mephisto is going to be much closer. I don't know. Mephisto, he might have a shot. I don't know. He's still going to be down a little bit, but it's definitely going to narrow the gap for sure. All right. So if you want to catch my next videos, also I got something else. I got something else on my sleeve too. Be getting to that. And 10K. So I might be doing the 10K, like it might be in like a week or so or something like that. So this way, give me a little more time to prepare to bring you something right. All right, guys, you better stay tuned. You stay breezy, but most of all, friend, you stay safe out there now. Peace.